Welcome to another episode of Stateside Reds. Man, it's been a week off, my man. It's been a week off.
Welcome.
Thank you. We'll start off with the big news today. I know it's been a talking point in our chat. It's been a talking point everywhere else. Oh, Al-Hilal or whatever Al-Hilal want Bruno Fernandes. Talk is for around 100 million. He's 31 now? Well, 30, about to be 31. So, is this something that you would do? Is this something you would take at that price at this point in his career right now?
At this point in his career, and the way he's been playing in 2025, has to be more than that. I'm gonna say 150. I joked in the chat and said 250.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking 150, man. I mean, can't remember what price some of the other guys went for. I know he's only 31, but he's in his prime. He doesn't miss games. I mean, God forbid the shoe on the other foot doesn't fall, but he doesn't miss time. Plays elite ball. He has elite stats on a crap team. And the fact that we would need to be compensated and find a replacement. And I mean, hopefully any good team with the San would have been prepping for post Bruno in a way. He's not gonna play forever, and he has 2 or 3 more years on his deal.
Mm-hmm.
So you would hope Ineos has been doing their homework in terms of especially with the new coach with Ruben. What kind of 10s you want to bring in to, I guess, kind of replace Bruno? What kind of center mid we want to bring in? And if we're gonna sell Bruno, we're gonna have to have enough money to get the kind of talent we want. If you want to get get a Florian Wirtz in or Adam Wharton in, I think those kinds of players are what you will want to look for if you want to replace someone like Bruno.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam
Wharton. That I'm not keen on it. It's like, it's like ebb and flow. I mean, he was really rotten at the beginning of the season. He was in a rut. And what leaders do, I've said it before, I feel like he was finding his form coming, into the Christmas season. That big win against City, he was very responsible for that. And the minute Ahmad went down, he flipped the switch and he hasn't stopped running since.
Yeah, I agree. But for me, I'm open to it. I'm not. I don't want him to go, but I'm open to the sale. We look at what Liverpool did with Coutinho when he went. They put
Alisson and Van Dijk. That's who they got.
And back then, it was like, oh, we just lost one of the best players in the world, and then all of a sudden you've got Alisson and Virgil van Dijk, in your team.
Once again, how much did Barca pay for him?
150 million. Total.
All right, Saudi. All right, you heard it, Saudi. 150.
Yeah, 150 doesn't get you as much as it did back then, though. Unfortunately.
That's true. Inflation, tariffs, everything.
Yeah. So for me, I'm open to it. I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. But I am open to it. We do need to seriously consider this. And you're right. He has 2 years left on his deal. He's going to be 32, touching 33 on that amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's something we should seriously consider. Even if it gets us, 𝙈𝙊𝙍 or something, 𝙈𝙊𝙍 and maybe another midfielder, with Cunha coming in, Ahmed's getting into his own, bringing in 1 or 2 players. We're never going to be able to fully replace Bruno. And I don't want Man United to go out and try to replace Bruno. I want United to go out and get 2 players that are very similar to Bruno, but can play in the midfield. Because if you go out and try and find somebody like Bruno, first off, it's going to cost you just as much money as you sold for him. I love Wharton. But at some point, Wharton's going to go for more than Declan Rice did.
They're quoting 80 million for him right now.
Yeah.
That might be as cheap as it comes.
Yeah, so they want 80 mil. So we're going to go spend all of that money on on one player. That's my point. So for me, I don't want to buy 1 player. I'd like to go buy 2 players that could play in that 8 role. Because if we're going to sell Bruno, we need someone in that 8 role real bad. You know, we could the 10 roles kind of. You know, if we keep 𝗕𝙊𝙍, we've got Cunha, we've got a striker, we've got 𝗕𝙬𝙍, we've got Ahmed, all these players that can play there. We don't know if we're going to sell Anthony now. Like, this guy's on fire right now. Like, are we going to sell him? You know,
I think we have to. It's a log jam, really. I mean, you think he could play the wing back, I guess, right? He has a very good defense rate. That was always one of my compliments with Anthony. One of the rare good things he had going for him in his time with us was that he could track back and defend. You know, he's very tenacious. But
I would get rid of him. He just while he's on fire, you got to get rid of him, right? His value is all the way up there.
I don't think he could wait for that. I mean, it's not like it's Bruno, and you're afraid to sell him because you're not going to replace him. And I guess Bruno it's a time bomb in a sense because of his age too. And you never know if or when health concerns come up. So it's very enticing. I've got to be true.
Yeah, I've got to be consistent because 2 years ago, well, at the beginning of this season, I believe it was, when they tried to buy Mo Salah, I said to Liverpool fans, that age, you should consider selling him for the 100, 200 million or whatever they were offering at the time. I got to be consistent here. Like, I don't want to get rid of Bruno Fernandes. We are a much horrible team with Bruno Fernandes out of it. We saw that at the weekend.
Exactly.
But 100 million right now, and that's a lot of money, and it's a lot of money if we don't make the Champions League.
Yeah, that's the next thing. If we don't make the Champions League, does Bruno? I know his heart's good, but deep down, you feel like he should get a run at a really good team. Have an opportunity to chase the big gongs in Europe and everything. I mean, he's kind of chasing it with Portugal, but he might be tempted. I mean, I know he loves Man United, and he probably will want to down across to get us where we need to be. But just being realistic about him and his career, it might be a good move career-wise for him to go on a big team and see what he could do.
Yeah, because if you really think about it, right, we're getting around 100 million for making the Champions League. If we don't make the Champions League, where are we going to reinvest? Casey saying sell Anthony, Rashi, maybe 𝗕𝙊𝙍. Sancho's already gone. I know for a fact that they've already triggered that. So Sancho's already gone for the 25 million. We would have heard about it by now if it hadn't.
Chelsea might try to flip him too afterward.
Yeah, he scored a couple of goals. He scored again at the weekend. Well, not at the weekend. Thursday. I think he scored in Thursday. Yeah, so he's scoring over there. He had that dry spell, but he's scoring again and picking it up. Just kind of like Rashford did. Just getting that contract. He doesn't want to go back. So I'm going to score a couple of goals. But yeah, if you look at Anthony, we're going to get a max 40 million. We're not going to get more than 40 million for Anthony. That's the top end.
I'm taking that. I'm handle.
Rashi, about the same.
Sadly. Imagine who would have thought in January that loaning out Rashford and Anthony would have the better loan.
Mm-hmm. No one on this planet. No one on this planet thought Anthony.
No one on this planet would have put money on that.
Yeah, he's actually ranked in the. Anthony's ranked in the top 10 most valuable players still left in Europe.
That's
of all the teams still left in Europe, he's ranked in the top 10. It's insane, just because of his recent form. Not overall.
You mean all the competitions in Europe? You mean?
Yeah. So like the Champions League, Europa League, and the Conference League. Because of his form right now, he's ranked in the top.
All right, that's a little more valid.
Yeah. It's insane that he's still in there. Casey saying you're pagans trying to sell Bruno. We ain't trying to sell Bruno.
We ain't trying to. We're just talking it. We're mulling it over. It's gross, but hey, it's what we do. We talk.
It's one of those things like Brian saying would not sell Bruno this summer anyways. Even if it meant getting 2 players that are 24, 25 who are pretty established right now to replace him, or even if it just cost us Wharton. How old's Wharton? 21.
Yeah,
still the highest ranked defensive midfielder in Europe with
He's
progressive
a
balls.
box midfielder, man. Yep, he's the
Yeah.
progressor.
So you get him. You got Ugarte playing at the playing the. You know, you got. See, I would move, and I heard this the other day, right? And I completely forgot to tell anyone. I would move Ugarte forward.
Nah, he's a destroyer. He
No,
stays
but,
right where he is.
but no, I agree with you. But he can't receive the ball from a defender. So if you get Wharton, right, you play Wharton in that 6 role, who can receive the ball, turn. Ugarte, that's his limit. He can't do that. But what he can do is get around that entire midfield and cover those gaps. And he can move forward. Why not?
He's a little better on the ball than we give him credit for too. He has a little bit of good dribbling skill. But in any event, if Wharton's in the side, they're gonna try to funnel the ball to him, whichever progressive center back we have. They're gonna look for him or one of the wing backs, I guess.
That's why I would say
Ugarte just knocks it around in a triangle. But yeah,
you got 2 destroyers in that midfield that just destroy things. Wharton and Ugarte, that would be just awesome. Brian said I'm keeping him no matter what this summer window. I don't think he goes. Even if we don't get in the Champions League, I don't think he goes. We're just floating ideas around there, you know, with what we can do with the money. You know, his agent's taken the meeting for Al-Hilal, so there's some truth into it. I honestly think he's gonna consider it. He's gotta consider it because remember he's almost 30, and they're gonna be paying him what, 400 grand a week.
Life-changing money.
Life-changing money.
He's making good money with us right now. He just signed a new deal in the summer, so I don't think he's looking for a new deal or anything.
No, but that money's gonna be life-changing.
Twice as much. Yeah,
you're gonna be talking.
Gonna be twice as much.
Yeah, maybe $500,000, 600,000 a week. You know, that's insane. On top of giving United 100 million for a 30-year-old, it's something to consider. I don't think it will happen. I don't want it to happen. But it's definitely something that United should consider looking. It's a lot of money, especially I wouldn't even consider it if we got into the Champions League. If we got in the Champions League, like, nah, whatever. But if we don't, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I think it's definitely what we're talking about. If we don't win in Bilbao in 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks? Yeah, just about. Staying at another cup final, man. That's good times.
Yeah.
Not too bad for our banter era, right?
Hold on. I wanted to touch on Thursday. We'll get into the game on the weekend in a minute, but touch on Thursday. It looks like Nico Williams didn't train today. It looks like their midfielder, who's their top goal scorer, again, looks like he's probably out for the season.
Jeez.
He missed the last game, and Nico Williams' his brother also went off injured and had a scan today. So they're missing their 3 top players, possibly on Thursday.
Well, they're gonna be wounded if they play.
They're gonna be wounded and 3 goals down and having to come out and literally just go all out, which is gonna leave them very, very vulnerable at the back. Also missing one of their star defenders.
Yep.
Obviously through the red card. So possible 4 players missing at the weekend, on Thursday. And then the big news today. James Maddison looks like he's out for the season for Spurs, which is a huge, huge loss for Spurs. Huge. I think he's been consistently injured this year, but Tottenham has injuries. Yeah. Solanke didn't train today, I believe. I think he's going to be fine, but I think he didn't train today. But they did. They rested everyone at the weekend, just like we did. But yeah, it doesn't look good for them on Thursday. Which is, if they've got the injuries, man, like, let's not forget, this team can come back and beat Tottenham. They did it against Lazio.
Yeah. Are they missing players? I don't know if they're missing anyone. Bodo for the second round.
Bodo Glint are not missing anybody right now. Okay. And they
just need 2-0 to get an extra time and see how it swings.
They get an early goal. Maddison scored in midweek, against them. So it's going to be a big loss for Spurs. I don't like saying, hey, I want someone to be injured, but I'm kind of glad he's missing.
We're taking all the help we could. I mean, yeah, cocky me. I like to say I want to beat your full strength side, so you have no excuses. You don't have to blame. Oh, it's my second 11. Oh, we had red cards, this, that, and the other. So I would love to beat your best. But yeah, taking any help we can because, I mean, we ourselves we've been decimated by injuries. We're just starting to get the guys back. I think we're gonna lose 𝗈𝗏 now. Is 𝗈𝗏 done for the year? We don't know yet. It's a
Yeah.
sprain.
The
And it's that time of year too, like any injury, 2-3 weeks. That's basically the season.
Yeah.
So
Well, we got 20 days left of the season,
yeah.
the Premier League season. 20 days.
Mhm.
So, it doesn't look good. I'm flabbergasted, absolutely flabbergasted of why Amarin played him at the weekend to start him. I would have brought him on for the last 20 minutes. There was no reason whatsoever to bring him on. He's been out for a
don't
long
know.
time, and to bring him on, and then the goal too. But we'll touch on that. An absolutely disgusting goal. Anthony Taylor again, another one of those disgusting plays that we really need to consider. And I don't care what anyone says. They need to look into this guy when it comes to refereeing. It is atrocious. How when a player is down on the ground, literally calling for help, that they allow the play to go on is beyond me. So,
yeah, you have to have some kind of game sense. It wasn't like you saw what happened. The guy fell. It was a coming together, and the guy fell on his leg, and he grabbed his knee and put his hand up. You know what that means.
Yeah,
there's something wrong with the guy. I mean, they want to use the excuse that it wasn't a head injury, but you knew what was going on, and it was in the half. It was we were basically down a man, and yeah, they just swung it far post. Poor Fredrickson, he was outnumbered for one, and yeah, they jumped him and scored a goal that I think Bayern there should have saved too.
Yeah, he hasn't been exactly great. And a couple of weeks ago, we were me too. Hands up, I was calling for him to come into the team, but I was like, no. I think he's gone in the summer.
Yeah.
I think he'll leave. We'll bring somebody in as a backup number 2, or even possibly the number 1. I know there's a guy Arsenal are looking at, Barca are looking at him. I can't remember his name, but they want him to be number 2. I think we can go out try and spend 25 million on him. He'd come to United to be the number 1. But yeah, it's sad to hear 𝗈𝗏. And it is what it is. We got Maguire there. Maguire's playing pretty decently. I'm concerned about Luke Shaw. I know he's been out for a while, but the mistakes that he is making are just horrendous.
I think this is preseason for him basically. So a lot of kinks he has to iron out, a lot of rust. But back to 𝗈𝗏, I feel like Amarin felt like he had no choice but to play him because I guess he wanted to rest. He wanted to rest Euro, and for Thursday, and Maguire and Lindelof, they played 90 minutes. I figured one of them should have played over 𝗈𝗏, but they played 90 minutes, and they're probably sore and tired, and still kind of have Thursday to look after. And we thought we could have got away with one playing 𝗈𝗏. I mean, I don't fault Amarin a lot for it. It's just rotten luck once again. Like, people will say, of course that would happen, but what are the chances that that kind of tackle came in and the guy falls on his knee and sprains his knee or whatever it is. It's just really unlucky.
Yeah, and I'm concerned about the Aiden Heaven story. He, I was really hoping he would play again this season.
Today.
Sorry.
Yeah, I heard that driving home today. It might be a little more serious than I thought.
Yeah, it looks like he's probably out for the season, which is a shame. I wouldn't even rush him back, and looking at Luke Shaw and looking at everybody else, like rushing him back. It's a shame because like with 𝗈𝗏 out, Heaven out, Lit out, Martinez out. It's just a merry-go-round of last year, right? We were playing well. all of our other players are injured this year, and we thought, oh, great, we got all of our backline, and then our backline goes out, which is, it's concerning, considering how much we need the Champions League. But it is what it is, and we're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm hoping 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 can possibly make it back for, I would say, the end of the season. And what really bugs me is, why is the Europa League final before the last game of the season? It's on a Wednesday at 2:00.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is a UEFA thing, logistics, but I think it should be the same week as the Champions League final. The Champions League final is Saturday. Have
it on a Sunday.
The Conference League to have the Europa the Wednesday or Thursday before the Champions League final.
Yeah, after the season.
Yeah.
I would have preferred that. It would have gave 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 at least a chance to have played in it. It looks like he may be back.
Who's this, 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀?
Yeah, there's a possibility he may be back at the end of May.
Yeah, we got 16 more days for the final. It's gonna be a tough ask.
Yeah, and that's why I was kind of saying, like, I wish it was after the season had finished. It gives it an extra week. But it is what it is. I think we'll comfortably get through Thursday. I think
we should.
I think one goal we score the first goal, the tie's over. There's no way they're scoring 4 goals against Man United. I know United can capitulate. We saw against Lyon. But I can't see them scoring 4 goals, especially if Nico Williams and his brother and everybody else is missing from the tie. They struggled with Nico Williams last time, let alone without him. So no, I'm comfortable getting to the final. I'm not comfortable with the final if it's Spurs. I'm just not. The fact that if it was any other team, and I mean any other team from Europe, I would have been comfortable because of how well we've been playing in Europe. But the fact that we're so shit in the Premier League and we're going to play a Premier League team, it's kind of like you have to. It's like go up.
They beat us 3 times too. That's
like
the other big thing, even bigger than just being a Premier League team. They beat us 3 times already.
Yeah,
and the last time they beat us, I don't felt like they kind of coasted too. The first 2 they smacked us around.
Yeah,
it was pretty bad.
The only thing that I can say though with that 2 of those losses to them was when Amirin first came into the team.
Right. Yeah.
It was within a month of Amirin being here. The team's had a little more time to play the system now. But again, it's still a Premier League team. The one thing I would be doing is I would be going up to Casemiro and going, "It's a European game."
He knows. He can smell it.
Yeah.
He can smell it.
Yeah.
That guy is wily. He and Maguire, they get all the plaudits from me. I mean, they were done and dusted, I feel. More Casemiro, because even when Ruben came in, he was not playing Casemiro. No. He was playing Maguire. And I said it at the beginning of the season to you guys. I was like, I have a feeling that when with Ruben coming, that those 2 might have a renaissance. And they proved me right. I'm not happy because they proved me right. I'm happy because it happened and the team's at least thriving in Europa. And we're heading for a final. Casemiro found, a second wind. Dude is fitter than I am. And a back 3 is Maguire's bread and butter. So based on that fact alone, I figured that Harry would thrive. And so said, so done. And with Casemiro thriving, I just knew that like having a guy like Ugarte next to him to do all that dirty record covering would require less of him, because I mean he still has the brains, as you see, but he can't run as much. So having that help in the middle.
That's the thing that concerns me though with Spurs in the final. And Cheese, yes, I know this is recorded, and I'm not scared of Spurs. We're talking about things. And as Brian says, we're shit against English teams. So Casemiro's been fantastic in Europe, but I feel like that's his level right now, right? He is. They're not. If you look at European teams, you look how good Anthony's doing over there. They play a slower paced game. So he doesn't have to run around as much like he does in the Premier League.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's why Anthony's doing so good over there, is because he's not suited for the It's not that he's a shit player. He's just not suited for the Premier League. That concerns me. If we play Tottenham, do you play Casemiro?
You have to. I feel like you have to. Based on form more than anything too, and
Yeah.
I feel like you want to throw
Because
Bruno
he got
close to
hammered by Spurs in the last
well.
game. They rinsed him, and that's my concern.
Was Ugarte in that side? Was
Ugarte was in there? Yeah.
I feel like it'll be different because even so, like, you know, we got the first time we played him with Ruben and we got beat. A lot of our losses since, we haven't really gotten smoked.
A lot of our losses? You mean the 6
Many
wins?
of our losses have been close losses. We haven't been like getting clapped 6-3, 7-0, and shit like that. I mean, we've looked abject up in front because, you know, Hoyland, the ghost of Hoyland, what have you. And but defensively we could be we could be terrible at times. But the scorelines haven't been ridiculous. I mean, 4-1 was ridiculous, but we clawed it back.
Yeah.
But
I thought there was another France in there. You know, we were going to claw it back to 4-4.
Yeah. Let's put it this way: Brentford ran out of time. It felt that way, actually.
It did feel that way.
It felt that way at the end because those guys were going for it.
Yeah.
You know, they got shined up. It was 4-1. It was looking terrible, and they just threw it out there. It's like, you know what? Let's just go out and play football. Garnacho, probably his best game of the year too.
Yeah, and what a strike for Garnacho.
Yeah.
It's give him some confidence for Thursday. Keep scoring some goals, get that confidence in. Now, the only thing that with Spurs in the final, right? United just, and this is why I am confident. So I've given you why I'm not confident. I'm going to give you why I'm confident. United just don't lose finals unless it's against the likes of City, Real Madrid, Barcelona. When was the last time Tottenham were in a final?
Yeah, and then
and not only that, outside of the country.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a wise old man who said, "Lads, it's Tottenham."
Yeah.
So maybe we need to remember that.
We do need to remember. But it's like, you know, we're going into that final possibly against Spurs. Again, yes, Cheese. Mason Mount is back. Mason Mount is back, even though he's only scored 2 goals for Manchester United, and both of them were against Brentford. He's like, literally 2 goals.
Hoyland was probably punching the air. He's like, look at this fucking cross right in the box. I need some of that.
But yeah, I'm so glad Mason Mount got his goal. But it is what it is. Like, I'm not too worried against the Spurs. Like, they're gonna go into that knowing they've got a lot more pressure on them than we do. You know, Ange is fighting for his job. If he doesn't win that, he's gone. 100% gone.
He's going no matter what. But
do you think?
Yeah. And he basically said it himself. He's like, yeah, I'm going regardless. Okay. I think he kind of lost the dressing room.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. Like, those bums, they don't know they have a good coach on their hands. But I think, you know, he has faults too. You know, he's maybe a little rigid in his style. Always gung-ho with it, you know, not being pragmatic when it suits, you know, when it suits best. But, you know, that's how certain guys roll. And yeah, maybe he just needs a better squad that could
their squad's not bad though, right? I know they've had a lot of injuries, but their squad's not bad. You know, it looks like Son's going to be back for the final.
Yeah, I don't understand how they're that terrible. Like, you know, like we are in the league. It's a little confusing, especially how they started too. I feel like they started the season really well, and then they just.
Well, we were in 5th.
We were crap for the jump. Yeah, we were crap for the jump.
Well, we were in 5th when we fired Ten Hag. Yeah, I think we're in 5th when we fired Ten Hag.
We in 5th when we fired Ten Hag. I know we lost 4 games.
Yeah, we were pretty high when we fired Ten Hag. But
we were losing some bad games though.
Cheese is calling for Mount to be at front. It's like Hoyland wouldn't make those runs that Mason Mount. He would have ran to the corner flag.
He'd have ran behind the defender or something.
Spurs have had as many injuries as we have, and it looks like they're getting. The there's a little part of me that's like hoping that Solanke drops. It's not fit for the final.
Yeah, that guy always poisons us too, man. He hasn't done jack shit all year otherwise.
Yeah, I know, but he plays
really
really good
annoying.
against us. Because I think Slansky goes out there. They're pretty screwed up front. At least
Yeah,
we've got front. But and hey,
like I
Ahmed
said-
scored at the weekend.
Yeah, he did. A little deflection, a little graze.
When
But
under
that goal was all him, man. It's a really good goal.
it was, dude, and it went through the goalie's 5. You know, which I don't know how he didn't save that.
No, it was a deflection I threw him off a little bit.
But it still went through his legs. That's the problem. You still shouldn't be beaten from your leg through your legs from outside the box.
Yeah, when the shot's good, man.
Yeah, which is great to see him. You know, hopefully that's what, you know, having him back for the finals is going to be huge.
Especially if he could play right wing back too.
Yeah.
My nephew said he looked a little tired at the end, but I don't know. I feel like it was just a matter of him trying to let the play develop in front of him, especially playing on the wing back.
Yeah, we got.
I told him he was just coming back from injury too, so maybe it was a little bit of both. Maybe he's not prime fitness yet, and Ruben's trying to get him there, give him 45 minutes.
I would start him. Yeah, I would
start on Thursday.
I would start him Thursday. Yeah, I would absolutely start him Thursday. Get a goal, and then as soon as we score a goal, out.
Yeah,
wrap him in bubble wrap. Out. But yeah, anybody that's like important for the final, if we score the first goal Thursday, out. Just out, get out. You know,
rank changes at halftime.
Bruno out, everyone just out. But they're like, because they'd have to score 5 goals to win the game, 4 goals. I don't see that happen. I think it's 128 teams have gone from the if they're scoring 3 goals in the first leg, and 128 teams have gone to the final, the semi. And so if we do not make it to the finals, we will have broken another record. It's not a record that we want to see.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's around 128 teams that have scored 3 goals in the first leg have gone through to the final.
Yeah, I feel it. I mean, in a recent memory, the only team to throw away a 3-goal first leg lead, their name was Barcelona, and they did it to the Scouts, and they end up winning a trophy. So it's very, it's very unlikely. I mean, especially if we played against Mount, like you said, they're going to be chasing it. So
yeah,
we need to we need to absorb a little pressure. Stand strong, and find the gaps and catch them on the break. And like you said, if we get 1 or 2 like that, ties over, we could coast the rest of the way.
I can't see us not scoring though. That's the thing. Like, and I think they know that too. Like, I don't see us scoring. Premier League, we just can't score. Well, I know we scored 3 this weekend, but we just can't. In general, we can't score. Europa League, they're just going in. And maybe another red card. It looks like, in the last 3 ties, we've had at least 1 red card in each tie. So we
got ours in the first leg, so I feel the second leg they'll get lucky. We'll save another red card for the final.
Yeah, Spurs red card in the final. That'd be great.
Christian Romero. Yeah.
But yeah, we got those. We got the week, and then the weekend. Who we got the weekend? Chelsea.
We host West Ham.
West Ham. We play.
That's the battle for 17, baby. We have to win that game. West
Ham have been shit too. They're actually pretty. Yeah, they're. What is? I haven't.
Yeah, we're at 39 points on 14th, I believe, or 15th.
We 15th.
West Ham is 17th.
Yeah, we're 15th. They would go above us.
Yeah. Like, we could finish 17th, man. And I mean, despite all the reasons why that's happened, it is still a freaking disgusting fact.
Yeah,
that is
one thing I don't.
The worst season that any of us like around our age has ever seen.
I don't want to finish 17th with no Champions League without winning the Europa League. If we win the Europa League, I could deal with being 7th.
That is a long drawn failure. That would be devastating on my mind.
I
Imagine, just
can
imagine that.
can you see Amarim in any way, shape, or form United going in a different direction if we finish 17th and no Europa League? You think they still
No,
keep him?
yeah, because they have to rebuild, and like you said, that might be a good time to sell Bruno too to rebuild. If if the worst case scenario happens, which I don't think it's gonna happen, but I mean, whether we finish 15th or 17th isn't that bad because it's still a pretty shite season.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think not winning Europa is gonna just really accentuate things because that ruins our window and our chances to, I guess,
Why?
accelerate the rebuild, if you want to say, because
Yeah.
we get more money, we have more money to rebuild the side, and if Champions League doesn't happen, we get less. So it'll make a very very rotten summer.
Oh boy, Forest lost today, didn't they?
Yep. No, they drew. It was a 1-1. But yeah,
Uh,
they're going down the table.
who did they draw with?
Palace. I think were they at
I was
Palace?
I was
Um,
praying the Forest won today because if Forest had won today, they would have been on 63 points. So 6th, 5th, and 4th would have been on 63 points.
it's gonna be
City
that's
in
gonna be a good
3rd would have
finish.
been on 64, and Arsenal would have been on 67. So that would have been between 2nd and 6th would have been 4 points. Arsenal's next few games: Liverpool, Newcastle, Brighton.
Damn.
There's a possibility that Arsenal finish in 5th or 6th this year. Now, if Forest had won, the thing is, right? If Forest had won today and then won out, there's a possibility that Arsenal could have finished in 6th and not in a Champions League spot. So I was praying that Forest won today.
You think Scout's gonna? I mean, yeah, it's gonna be like a. I mean, they had their celebration already, but they're gonna be home against Arsenal, the team they beat to the trophy. I feel like they're gonna try to put a hurting on them.
No, I'm telling you now, Arsenal are not going to finish 2nd. Arsenal win. I honestly think Arsenal are going to finish in 4th place.
Yeah, City's gonna end up freaking second.
City, I think City will beat them, and I think Newcastle will beat them to 2nd. I think it will be Liverpool, City, Newcastle, then Arsenal.
That's valid. Yeah, I mean,
And there's a possibility Chelsea overtake them too, because
I don't think so, man. They haven't been look good at all, and they play Newcastle this weekend too. I think.
oh, they played Newcastle.
They play Newcastle this weekend.
Okay,
So.
so whoever wins that game, I think will finish above Arsenal. So, because I know Chelsea have to play. They have to play us next Friday.
Yeah, they do. Yep. It's Newcastle, United, and I forget who they play in the last day.
Yeah, so it's tied up there at the top. Arsenal have only won 2 in 6 games.
Yep.
I think with the loss today,
on the Champions League.
Well, yeah, which I think they go out on Tuesday. Oh, is it
Yeah,
Wednesday?
I mean, they play Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow's Inter Barca, and
Which is going to be a great game.
Another classic game in the San Siro. I'm definitely tuning in to watch that game. That should be a.
Now, I will say that, right. There's a reason why I want Arsenal to finish 2nd. 2 years ago, Arsenal finished 2nd. We won the Carabao Cup. Arsenal finished 2nd last year. We won the FA Cup. Arsenal finished 2nd this year. We win the Europa League.
Yep.
I'm a very superstitious person, and I have a feeling if Arsenal do not finish 2nd, something weird's gonna happen.
Well, technically, the final is before the last week of the season, and I think it's gonna take the last week of the season for them to.
Yeah, but if they lose if they lose at the weekend,
if they lose Sunday, yeah, they're gonna have to wait till the last weekend to try to get 2nd place.
Yeah, actually, no. If they lose this weekend and City win, City go above them on goal difference.
No, Arsenal they're 33.
Oh yeah, they're at 33. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
it will go down to the last game.
It's their defense. The defense is so good. Yeah, City conceded 12 more goals, and yeah. Oof.
It is sound cheese. Okay, I'm very superstitious. Like the other day when we were when we it was like 2 weeks ago against Leon, right? Bruno scored the goal, and there was a guy in front of me. He's the Chelsea fan, so he was in watching the Carabao their league, and he stood up for him. They scored, and he sat down, and we scored, and then we scored again. And I was like, "Don't fucking move! Don't move! Stay there!" He stayed there. Bruno scored. Very superstitious now. Like all the way through the Euros, I sat in the same seat at England game every day. And then the one day I didn't sit in the damn seat was the finals.
Moved for the final, didn't you?
Yes, I did move for the finals because there was a couple there that got there before me, and I wasn't about to just say.
Yeah,
I should have done. I should have said, "Get out."
Should have pulled the Sheldon Cooper, man. Told him that's your spot.
Yeah, I should have wrote my name on the back of the seat real quick when they went to the bathroom.
Get the fuck up. You want England to win? Get up.
Yeah. But yeah, it is. So I've got to try, and I'm glad that Arsenal will be in second place when we play final. So this is good news. But anything else you want to touch on today? Oh, real quick, I want to touch on our sponsors today, 𝗕𝗊𝗶𝗴 and Shah Gideon, your residential law firm in LA. They take all cases from slips on bananas all the way up to hitting your head, car accidents. Casey is a good friend and knows some people over there down in LA. So if anyone in LA has any accidents, I think I don't know what their success rate is. Casey, is it 99%?
It's 97, 98. Either way, you are good money with those guys. Dial them up.
Yep, good money with those. And then our other ones, Red Devil Freds. Our great guys over in Manchester in England have some great shirts, great stickers. Casey's our residential Red Devil Freds top guy. I've just got the latest one, so I'll be wearing that next time. Fortunately, I didn't have time today to get it in. And then I just want to congratulate myself. Weekend, I can day of the year, breaking my personal record by 4 minutes.
Nice.
So,
you're under the half an hour mark?
I was 1 minute and 28 seconds off sub 30.
Nice.
Which is pretty good considering I only started running in February.
Exactly.
And then I also signed up for my first ever 10K. So as of starting tomorrow, I will be starting my 10K program. I've got a whole program to follow. So I'll be doing that in the end of. Gonna give me some time to get that done. Tomorrow we have those casual reds. AC back as your guest. And then last of all, I just want to hope everything's okay. Mikey unfortunately couldn't make the show tonight. I just wanted to shout out Mikey. I hope everything is good over there. I am addicted to running now. It's also cycling. I just went and spent $250 on a bike. So last week I did a 7-mile ride on my bike, came home and went for a 2-mile run. So
it's a good addiction to have. I'm trying to get back out there, play some ball regularly, man. I've been lapsing on the fitness front, but definitely want to try to get some work in before it gets cold again.
Yeah, it's great to do, man.
That's when I love my bed even more.
It's great for your mental health. My GERDs, which is stomach acid, a lot of acid reflux, pretty much gone away. I don't take my anxiety medication anymore. I'm not getting anxiety from running, so great for your mental health. Next time I do my run, I'm going to try and I want to lose another 10 pounds, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a StateSideReds vest, running the StateSideReds. Sponsored by StateSideReds. I'll pay myself. So that'll be good. And then on Wednesday, I believe me and Mr. Green will be back for our second episode.
Got history class. Let's go.
Of our history class. Yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday for that. And then Thursday, hopefully me and Mikey are on. with some good news for Thursday. Straight after the
Post
show.
game.
Yep.
It should be fun.
Yeah, it should be fun. Hopefully, if you do not see us, then you know that we lost.
We'll come on and save face, but I mean, what a face it would be to save if we come back Thursday night and we lose. It's not happening. It's not happening.
That's it. That's it. It's not happening.
It's not happening.
Not happening. We're winning. We're winning on Thursday. So, Sanjeev, congrats, Sean. I'm disgusted at this addiction and proud. I know you are. I was with Sanjeev on Sunday, and I said to him, like, because they were doing the full marathon and half marathon. Watch a friend of ours run the half marathon. Hey, you want to go? You want to go for a run? He goes, "Fuck no!" It was instant. It was instant. Like, fuck no, I'm not going for a run. But it made me want to go for a run. I'm gonna try for the half marathon next year. So I'm gonna try to do that. I don't know if my 42-year-old body would be able to take.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a big jump from 10K to half a marathon.
Yeah, it's two 10Ks.
Yeah, I think trying to do the miles KMs thing.
Yeah, the 10. Yeah,
so a 10K is like what, 6.5 miles?
6.5 miles. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So yes. What's a half marathon?
20K.
Yeah. No, that's 3 of them. No, I'm not ready for that. Giotto saying 750 million, take it or leave it. That's a lot of money.
This for Bruno or for
yeah, for Bruno.
Or for the debt.
Yeah, that will clear the debt, man.
That'll probably clear the debt until
real quick, I don't know if anyone's talked about this yet. It looks like he's selling Nice. What's your thoughts on that?
I guess good. I mean, I don't care about the multi-club model and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like you could build relationships with clubs outside of that stuff. And I mean, I share people's views that the multi-club system could, it could really poison football. I guess it could, you're buying out little clubs and you just have this whole syndicate. I think it works better like how City do it, where do they have like
they
in
have
Europe?
They have New York.
Who do they have in Europe besides City?
I can't remember the team, but the team's not in Europe, and that's the problem that he's Nice are
in Europe. Yeah,
Nice are in Europe, so he can't be in charge of both. We can't sell between the two. For a City was smart. They went to America. When they got Lampard, remember
Brazil,
Lampard went
Australia. Yeah. They have a team in every continent, and I feel that may be the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it. But do you think? So there's rumors, and I touched on this a while ago. I heard a very, very reliable source that the Glazers were interested in selling Manchester United. Now they can't do this till August. We know that. Interested in selling Man United, or at least more shares, which would then take them out of control ownership. Because they only own 51%. So if they sell more, it's going to knock them down below the 51, which then they don't have control share. Do you think with him selling Nice at this time of the year that this could be what's going on? They're about to sell Nice for like 200 million. I think it's 250 million they want for it. Take that 250 best and take shares from Glazer, which would then give them controlling around. They'd have to put up more than 250 million, which I'm sure that they can finance. But do you think this is going to coincide with them taking more shares and probably taking ownership of the club?
Definitely more shares. At least 250 million worth of shares, I think. But enough to usurp the Glazers right now. I don't know. I feel like they're just playing a checkered long game with it, especially after the trying to stage it. It's 3 years. That was their program basically, right? Just 3 years after the World Cup in 2026, we'll see where we're at. So yeah, I think this is just another step in that direction. Guess they got one more year technically. I'm sure, but yeah, they're getting more shares. They're trying to get more power. I'm not sure what's I mean, they're hidden right now. We don't know what are his plans on taking over completely. Where they're going to get that money. Think he's going to sell off some more Ineos stuff. Selling Nice, of course.
Sell his
They're still
bike
keeping.
team, sell
Yeah.
Mercedes, whatever he's got to do. You know, he's getting to that point in his life now, right? That he's up there. So if he wants full control of Man United, then you're going to have to start selling off some of your assets to get a hold of Manchester United. Because reports today, saw it, don't know how true it is. United are the second most valuable team. They're actually worth $6 billion behind Real Madrid. Real Madrid are ranked 6.5 billion.
That's what the Glaciers wanted from the Sheik, allegedly.
Yeah.
And allegedly, after the World Cup, they think they could hit 10 with all the augmented reality things
Mm-hmm.
in terms of selling and game experience and everything. They think after the World Cup in the States that they could sell for even more. So that's why their price is so high.
Yeah.
Greedy fucking bastards.
At the end of the day, I don't care how much they sell Man United for. I just want them gone. Even if Qatar ends up giving them 10 million, greedy bastards, whatever. As long as they take that 10 million and go choke on it, I don't care. As long as they're out of this club, best new stadium and whatnot. So, for me, I think it's a little coincidental that he's selling Nice. That the Glaciers are able to sell more shares in August. It's coming around that point, a couple of months off, so it gives them time to sell the club, and then because it looks like Qatar are at least someone from that region is interested in buying Nice.
Saudi, apparently.
Yeah, looks like Saudi are interested in buying 250, which is good. But then they'll just pump more money into Nice, and Nice will become the new PSG. So, which is interesting because PSG, they have the FC Paris. FC Paris were just promoted into the league this year, and their stadiums are next to each other.
The next door derby.
Yeah, literally next door. You could literally walk out the door and walk into there.
All these years, I thought that ground was like the women's team for PSG or something like that. I don't know. It was actually
FC Paris. Let's hope PSG don't own that, because then there's going to be a problem.
I think they're looking to dial back the Qatar Foundation. They were thinking about dialing back from PSG.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This new project of theirs, they're doing the right way and it's panning out. They might make a Champions League final.
Mm-hmm. I actually see them. I can't see Arsenal beating PSG. PSG. I just can't. Like a couple of years ago, yes, but this team is just too good. Like they've built one of the best young teams in Europe.
And they play football. They're not scaring anybody. They play their own game, and it's a really good game, really attractive game, poised and controlled. Yep. And Arsenal may have met the match, and you never know in the final, Barca or Inter might meet the match too.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Because you look at Arsenal and like Arsenal, it's the same as United. Arsenal going to come out and have to score at least one goal, but PSG, are you telling me they're not going to score at home?
They're scoring at home.
They're scoring at home.
Defensive record are really good, but they're usually better with Saliba and Gabriel playing. And Gabriel's not there, so if Gabriel was there, Arsenal had a better chance.
Is he out injured?
Yeah, he got hurt like a month ago or something. He's done. He's done for the year.
With all their lost.
Yep, pretty much.
But yeah, but that's it for today. Unless there's anything else you want to add, Ronaldo?
No. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We didn't talk about it a lot, but I think the Luis Campos story kind of fizzled out. I think
it did. Yeah, I had it on my list to talk about it, but then Fabrizio said today that there was like no talk, so I kind of left it alone.
That would have been a dynamite hire though, but I feel like Wilcox and Vivel, I think Ineos think they could handle things, and that's kind of the sense I got too, that they're gonna run it with those two.
Well, they're not doing a bad job. Look at the players they brought in so far. Obviously, gonna make some mistakes, but we've got Diego Leon coming in the summer already. It looks like Cunha is gonna come in. It looks like they're doing a job. So I wouldn't mess with something that's kind of working.
Yeah.
But if he's that good, then sometimes we just have to mess with it. But, all right, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Please hit the like, the subscribe, and hit the notification button for next time that we're on. Everything does help with the algorithm. So, everything. Other than that, everyone else, peace out. We'll see you tomorrow. See you later.
Get well soon, Mikey. Later.
Peace.